My name's Tolu Onile-Ere. I'm MD of Playhouse Communication Limited, a digital agency based in Lagos, Nigeria. We are a one-stop shop for clients. We handle everything from digital strategy through to creative to media planning and buying. We also do social media management as the start point, but that feeds much more largely into online reputation management. And then we also do something that we call an innovation, which is where we think digital needs to go. And it's sort of a loose term for finding things that stop being marketing, that actually start to add value towards people's lives. And that's where we think digital is going to go to, and that's where we think things will end up. It's a small business, and what I'm learning, or what I've learned, is this: I think that I face the same challenges every small business owner faces, which is you are everything from the cleaner through to the strategist, through to the receptionist, through to everything which you need to be to make the business work. So each day is a learning experience. I think it's from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to sleep, I'm learning something new. And so I think that the typical day is just based around making the business work. So it's not anything particular, but it's just that idea of it's a small business, it's a new business. We've only been around 18 months. And so we're still going through all those sort of teething challenges that every small business does. And I'm sure if you were to ask somebody who's selling clothes through to somebody who's selling cars to whatever it is, they would have exactly the same experiences that I have, just that my focus is around digital. I was born in a house. No, I have about 15-16 years marketing or marketing communications experience. I was based in London for a long time, and I was working for an agency there called JWT. Well, that was the last agency I worked for, and I did that for 5 years working on Shell. But I think for the majority of the 14 years I've done digital, more than 15 years I've done digital. I then moved back to Nigeria almost 4 years ago, and came back, and funny enough ended up working for the JWT affiliate here in Nigeria, just purely by chance, because I wanted to move back, and they had a vacancy. I did that for about a year before I was fired, and then looked for things to do for about a year to try and find out what was going on, and then set up Playhouse about 18 months ago, and even in that itself was purely by chance. Yeah.
So why is it by chance?
A friend was looking to set up an agency, and he didn't have agency experience, and a mutual colleague, or mutual friend, actually, guy to kill me if I call him a colleague, a mutual friend put us in touch with each other, and without us realizing we knew each other. And so he had the vision, I had the experience, and we decided we'd work together with the view that I would run the business whilst he then gets the chance to fly around and dream. We then went in and met some investors who suggested that it would be best if the two businesses, because he wanted to do other things like online dating and things like that, and they felt that it would be best if the agency and the other digital-based businesses were separated. So they asked me if I'd be interested in. I said yeah, and that's how I ended up with Playhouse. So not by design. That's the best way to explain it. But there's a Chinese curse, which is when you live in interesting times. So interesting has its own definition, but it's been good interesting. I think that there have been ups and downs, and that's one of the things that I think life is about. Is it can't always be good, but it isn't always bad, and so you take the good with the bad. So it's been a tough 18 months because digital as a discipline is only just growing in Nigeria. So it's been a challenge trying to get the business going, trying to get clients interested in it, and trying to just preach the gospel about digital being the way forward. So it's been challenging, it's been interesting. I hope it's going to be rewarding. We're working towards that. I think the advantage anybody in the, and excuse me for using the word developed world, would you has over us is they're preaching to the choir. People over there now understand the potential of digital. So that's an advantage they have. Whilst here we're still trying to get the clients to understand and buy into it. They've done radio, TV, press for how many years, and you've got a generation of marketing directors and marketing people who aren't comfortable with digital. So that's been the challenge. What is positive, I think, to some extent, is that it is still, we are years behind the developed world, but I think they themselves are still learning, and so we're playing catch up a bit, but we're not too much. I mean, it just depends on us using what we have available and then getting that. The challenge has been also accessibility. What I pay for internet access here for the business is what somebody in London, I mean it's just astronomical. We're paying the equivalent of about 400,000 naira, which is $3,000 for what somebody in the development world would pay $20 for. So that's a challenge, and then the service is not as great or as quick as it should be. But how do I put it? Within each challenge is an opportunity. So if it was, I'm in the business, I know what the challenges are, and I'm still staying in it because I believe there's opportunities there. Digital kicks ass, kicks traditional.
Sure.
That's my job. It's what I'm supposed to say. We suffer the problems the traditional marketing suffers from here in Nigeria is, should we say, about data. If you go outside of Nigeria or go to the West, people can tell you how many people listen to a radio show, how many people listen to watch a TV program, and we still can't do that in the 21st century here. So there was always the old saying of 50% of my marketing works, I just don't know which 50%. Digital gives you the chance to tell which 50%, and so that's the advantage that digital has over traditional. What traditional has is still reach. I mean, TV has 98% reach, whilst digital is only on 30% or so. But then the flip side is the people who are on digital are the ones who have the money. So again, those are the ones with potentially the buying power. So I think that the digital offers clients the benefit of measurability. It offers reach, penetration, and it's we're a very young nation. Someone pointed out we have over 30 million or 30% or some percentage, which I'm going to get wrong, under 30, and that's the generation that's growing up with digital, and that's where they're comfortable with digital. We then also have issues of power. So when last did you we have issues of traffic, we have issues of transport and all that. So when last did you get home in time to watch a TV program, but your mobile is with you all the time, and people use it and stuff, and that's part of the digital. A lot of it comes internally, as in the drive to succeed. I think that what I've learned over the years is if you rely too much on inspiration from external sources, what then happens is if those sources fail, you suddenly find yourself floundering without that support. What I've learned to not rely on, is to try and find the inspiration internally. So I think I get it from everything. Luckily, I enjoy life. So whether it's listening, little things like you hear a song which suddenly makes you smile. You see a program and that makes you happy. You see my son and that so it's all those sort of things that generally just make the day go better, and that inspires me. But within it is the belief, the need, the drive to succeed, and I think that's something that my parents and my upbringing, my friends, and all that have instilled and in me. And so that inspires me each day to continue. And luckily I'm very, very fortunate to be doing something that I'm passionate about. When last did you walk into an Amazon shop, and yet it's one of the biggest online retailers? Yes, now they've got factories and stuff and all that kind of stuff. But what it offers as a small business is there's the opportunity to have a global footprint whilst you're just sitting in your bedroom. That's the benefit. What it also offers is reach and the ability it gives you a ready-made audience that you can potentially get to. That is at a cost-effective price. So, you can't get on TV without paying millions to make the ad, to buy the space, etc. With regards to digital and social media, it doesn't cost you anything to set up a Facebook page, let alone set up a Twitter page or even a YouTube page. And then within that, all you then need to do is work on the content that you put in there to make it of interest to people, and then also work on getting the network of people to know that you exist. And that's where you can leverage your contact network of family and friends, and then also look at how it is what you can do to get others people that aren't directly related to you to know you exist. I think the first thing to understand as well with social media is that I think people make the mistake of thinking it's just Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. If I had my laptop where I could show you a diagram that shows there's numerous platforms. Here in Nigeria, people will talk to you about Eskimi, which is that's a mobile-based platform. People talk to you about To Go, another mobile-based platform. Those are social media. Guinness VIP is social media. So the first thing is to find which platform best suits your audience or where your audience resides. If you are a bookshop, for example, does it make sense to be on Twitter? What are you going to, but Facebook might be better. If you are a designer, maybe something like Pinterest or Flickr makes more sense because it's a more visual social media platform. So that's the thing. This is the first thing you need, I think, in using social media, is to look at it and say, okay, where is the audience? What does the platform offer me? And then how do I best use it? And from our point of view, what we've done is we've used it just by referral. So one person, a friend of a friend hears about us and comes to see it, and they like what we're doing, which then means their friend of their friend of their friend then sees it, and it's been a slow growth. It has been a slow growth in spreading the word. But the things exist so that you can pay for advertising to make people more aware of you, but that just depends on your budget. Yeah, it's been a challenge. I mean, for example, and I think that's the first thing. Anybody starting a business who thinks they're going to be an entrepreneur needs to understand is I've failed, I believe, a lot more times than I've succeeded. Big story for me and some friends was we set up what was the first online photo sharing sites we think in the world, or at least in the UK, back in 2000. It was called Memory Save and lasted 7-8 months before there was the internet crash. But we invested our time and our money in that and it didn't work. But from that you learn, and then look at Facebook now and whatever his name is, spending billions and making billions. But the challenge is the challenge of hard work. Recently, I said last year was tough. Out of 12 months, I think I paid myself 5-6 months. So that's 6 months of just finding money to survive without the business being able to support me. But focusing on trying to make sure that my staff are paid, and so that's been a challenge. And then also social life. I think that relationships. You are the success and failure of the business relies on your shoulders. So you're working 24/7, 7 days a week. You are. I can't even think of how I'm going to go on a holiday, when I'm going to go on a holiday, because I need to make sure the business is solid and the business is still growing, and we're still putting processes in place to make sure that the staff are trained and the people are there and that can run it in my absence. And that's the challenge, is trying to find the time to do that. At the moment, we are working on establishing ourselves. trying to get ourselves into to win more clients, win more business, and to get ourselves into profitability. That's the focus. As I said, 2012 was tough, and I think it was tough for most businesses, let alone a new business. So 2012 was tough. We've gotten that behind us, and 2013 is looking more positive. And so what we're trying to do is to get ourselves onto a solid footing. And the next 5 years looks promising. It looks promising because digital looks promising. Social Media Week Lagos is an example of the focus that people now have on digital. The belief and the hope is that we will get where the West is, and that's where clients realize the potential, the impact, and the value of digital, and don't just do it as the poor cousin and the afterthought. So yeah, we're positive. We're positive.